What made you choose to go through with the DIEP procedure?
When I found out I needed to get the double mastectomy, one of my options was to just do the traditional mastectomy with the implants or to do this procedure. And I was worried about having implants and how my body would handle having something foreign. So I opted for the DIEP flap, hoping to prevent complications in the future.
Were there any parts of recovery that surprised you?
Yes, there were a couple. One of them was that I didn't realize that they were gonna take my second ribs out on either side. And so I had a lot of pain in my upper chest that I wasn't expecting. And then also just the appearance was weird because I don't have ribs there. I wasn't told anything about that and I didn't expect it. And then also just how tight my stomach would be and having to walk bent over for a couple of months just because I couldn't stand up straight because it was so tight. I didn't plan on that either. Because the surgery was 14 hours long, the anesthesiologist did not provide good movement of my head, so I got a pressure ulcer on the back of my head, and which caused me to lose my hair in that area, and so it did eventually grow back after several months, but I had that pressure ulcer. Other complications since then that's required a couple more surgeries in my stomach.
How did the surgery affect you emotionally?
I honestly didn't think that it would affect me very much, just not having my own breasts, or I didn't do the nipple sparing surgery, so I don't have nipples either. And I didn't really think that it would bother me. But there were definitely times afterwards where I looked at myself and I was really upset just because I didn't feel like myself. Like it just doesn't feel like a part of my body. It still doesn't, but I've just gotten used to it and come to terms with it. And so it doesn't bother me as much as it did at the beginning.
What advice would you give to someone preparing for the surgery?
I've actually, because I was the first one to get this surgery at our facility here, I've since met with several other people that have received the surgery because the doctor's office asked if I would help prepare them for the surgery. And so the things that I tell them are that you have to have a support system. I wasn't able to raise my arms or walk straight or walk very far. And so to get in and out of bed, things like that, you need to have a person. I had several because my family is great. But if you were trying to do that on your own, I don't think that this would be the surgery for you. And then there's several like equipment things that were helpful for me. Like you have to lay flat on your back, sitting up with like your arms elevated and your legs. And so there is specialty equipment for things like that, as well as a pillow in the car for your seatbelt. Because you don't have ribs and you have arteries there, you have to be really careful of the airbags if they were to go off. So there's some safety equipment for that. And I think having all of that before you get surgery would be really helpful.
What was the reason you had to get a mastectomy in the first place?
We have a small family history of breast cancer, which flagged me for some more aggressive screenings. So I got my first mammogram fairly early, and they right away in those mammograms started to find some abnormalities that required me to have ultrasounds and MRIs, sometimes biopsies, and then I started having to get lumpectomies because they would find suspicious things. And so about every 6 months I was having some sort of small procedure done. And I talked to the oncologist who I love and just said, am I a candidate for a mastectomy? And she said that she was surprised I had waited as long as I had to ask for it because it was eventually going to be cancer. And then after I did have the mastectomy and I was in the ICU for 5 days, she came in with my pathology results, and I had about 15 different types of precancerous cells. And she said the next 6 months I would have for sure had cancer, and then I would have had to get chemotherapy or radiation, and and do the whole thing. So it was the perfect time to get it